This is just a short video on asynchronous JavaScript and a couple of tricks that come in handy when working with Ethereum, because there's a lot of async stuff that goes on. So the executive summary, if you know this already, you can skip this video, is adding async to arrow functions as well as function declarations, and using for of instead of for each if you're looping through stuff that you want to run sequentially. Um, okay, so starting off, adding async to arrow functions. If you look at this statement, so what I've got here is just console application in node.js, and I've got a main function here, got a short double after delay function here, which just gets a number and times it by 2, but before it does that, it waits 1 second. And then I've got the main call down the bottom there. So if I run this as it stands, node index, you can see wait is only valid in an async function. And if you're looking at this, you're thinking, well, I do have it wrapped in an async function, and I've got my await statement there. So what's its problem? And the trick you got to look out for is these arrow functions. You got to make sure you have async in there as well. So if you put it in there as well, you'll see it's kind of working now. But you'll also observe that it waited for 1 second, but only 1 second. It didn't wait 5 seconds. It didn't wait 1 second for each of these loops. And that's some kind of anomaly of the for each tool, for each function. The mapping is even worse. So if I show you this, it waits for a second, but completely ignores this whole async await stuff and returns a promise anyway. So they're best avoided if you want to. Oops. If you want to work with asynchronous calls sequentially. And so the best way to do it is to use for of instead. So if I run this, you'll see that it's waiting a second, then returning the value, and the value gets returned. So this loop is taking 5 seconds, so this is doing it properly. And I'm sure there's more technical reasons you can search as to why that is. And there's also, I think, some tricky stuff you can do around resolving asynchronous calls before returning them. So that might be something else to look into, but that's an easy trick you can apply. Is just use for of instead of for each whenever you're looping over stuff that you want to run sequentially, and that async calls, for example, to a blockchain.